Most men get sexual tension completely wrong. They think it's about a steady gaze, a suggestive comment, or a simple smile. Sure, those things can play a part, but real sexual tension is on an entirely different level. It's something deeper, more subtle, and far more powerful. Neil Strauss, one of the world's leading experts in seduction, made this crystal clear. Sexual tension isn't born from the obvious. The real magic happens in the details most men never notice, and very few truly understand. If you've ever felt that no matter how hard you flirt, you just can't ignite that spark, then don't move. You're about to discover how Neil Strauss masters this art with precise techniques that, when used correctly, can completely transform your reality with women. First, you must understand this. Sexual tension is never explicit. It's implicit. Your goal is never to blatantly show your sexual interest. Instead, you create an invisible game that awakens her curiosity, her excitement, and that intoxicating rush of forbidden adrenaline. Think of sexual tension like a rope that you are slowly tightening. If you pull too fast or too hard, it snaps. But if you learn to apply steady pressure, gradually increasing the intensity, you will achieve fascinating results. To begin, Neil Strauss suggests you master distance and eye contact. Physical space is one of your strongest tools. When you're with a woman who interests you, your first move is to subtly play with the space between you. At first, stay close enough for her to feel your presence, your intention, but just far enough to respect her personal bubble. Then, slowly, almost imperceptibly, begin to close that gap. This simple move sends a powerful, primal signal directly to her subconscious. Our brains are wired to react to changes in proximity. The closer you get, the stronger the energy between you becomes. But be warned, move too fast, and the magic is gone. You must do this with the smooth control of a man who knows exactly what he's doing. As you adjust that physical space, your eye contact must work in perfect sync. The way you look at her holds incredible power to create intimacy, complicity, and tension. Here is the key. When you look at her, hold your gaze just a few seconds longer than normal. Long enough for her to feel your interest, but not so long that it becomes uncomfortable. And Neil Strauss emphasizes a critical point. Never look at her with uncertainty. Your confidence must be unshakable in your eyes. This doesn't just project self-assurance, it triggers an unconscious challenge in her mind. She will wonder, what is it about him that makes him stare so intensely, so confidently, so irresistibly? Now, sexual tension also feeds on conversation, and this is where most men fail spectacularly. They think the conversation has to become explicitly sexual, but Strauss flips this idea on its head. The conversation that builds true tension is one that always lives on the edge of crossing a line but never fully crosses it. You must master ambiguous, double-meaning dialogue. Use subtle hints, seemingly innocent comments that carry a deeper, suggestive meaning. For example, instead of telling her she's attractive, try something like, "You know, I get the feeling there's a dangerous side hiding behind that smile." That single line ignites her imagination, and the tension skyrockets as she wonders what you truly mean. Neil also teaches the emotional contrast technique. This means you alternate moments of emotional closeness with moments where you pull back slightly, becoming a bit more distant or even challenging. This contrast creates a powerful psychological effect known as an emotional roller coaster, and this is what awakens the deepest kind of sexual attention. Imagine this. You're in a great conversation, laughing, connecting. Then suddenly you shift your vibe. You become a bit more serious, more challenging, maybe even physically take a small step back. That emotional whiplash sparks intense curiosity. When you return to that closeness, her mind becomes hooked in a mental game that sends her interest in you through the roof. Something Neil Strauss heavily stresses is the power of silence. Most men fear awkward silences and rush to fill them with nervous chatter. But Strauss teaches that silence, when controlled, can radically amplify sexual tension. The next time you're talking with her and a moment of silence falls, stay calm. Look her in the eyes, offer a slight smile, and let the silence hang in the air. This simple move projects mystery, confidence, and security, qualities that are incredibly seductive, yet few men truly master. Always remember, sexual tension feeds on uncertainty. Never lay all your cards on the table. Leave a little question mark in her mind. When she isn't 100% sure of your intentions, she becomes more drawn, more curious, and ultimately, more excited by you. Of course, your body language is the piece that ties all of this together. Your body constantly communicates your confidence and desire. Adopt a relaxed but dominant posture. Avoid nervous fidgeting. Every move you make must radiate control and mastery over yourself and the situation. And if what you're hearing resonates with you, you cannot miss my book, The Power to Attract. It is a deep, transformative guide to becoming the man you were meant to be, revealing how to awaken your natural magnetism and master the art of authentic connection. Now let's continue. Neil teaches that sexual tension is not a one-way game. It's an exchange of energy. You must learn to read her signals. If she responds positively, gently intensify the game. If you sense discomfort, pause, adjust your pace, and recalibrate. Mastering this is not instant, but by applying these principles, you will see immediate and surprising changes. If attraction has felt like a mystery, you're about to learn how to use that mystery in your favor. One of the most powerful tools Neil reveals is the ability to create anticipation. Anticipation is planting the seed of a future event in her mind, creating a psychological game that keeps her completely locked on you. To do this, hint at future events without defining them. For example, in a casual conversation, you could calmly say, "You know, I have a feeling I'm going to show you something soon that will completely surprise you." Instantly, you activate her imagination. She will start thinking about you even when you're not there, building a growing tension that keeps her emotionally hooked. Another powerful method is the strategic management of physical touch. The key is to do it with complete naturalness and subtlety. Don't be the guy who touches too much too soon. What Neil teaches is to use small, meaningful touches at specific moments. For instance, lightly touch her arm to emphasize a point. These small, seemingly casual brushes send powerful signals of attraction while you maintain a completely relaxed attitude, as if it's the most natural thing in the world. This creates a positive doubt in her mind, making her wonder if the contact was intentional, which dramatically raises the tension. Neil also emphasizes the crucial importance of congruence. Everything, what you say, how you say it, your tone, your gestures, your body language, must be perfectly aligned. This congruence projects an irresistible authenticity that women are extremely sensitive to. Any sign of insecurity can instantly shatter the tension you've built. A confident man is congruent at all times, projecting a deep, calm control that naturally draws her in. Now we move to a deeper psychological element, the ability to project emotional detachment without losing interest. This means that even if you feel a strong attraction, you must remain emotionally independent. If she senses you are dependent on her reaction, you lose. But if you can show genuine interest while maintaining your emotional center, you spark a much stronger attraction. Neil calls this the art of selective interest. Show authentic interest in specific things she says, while appearing indifferent to others. This dynamic creates a powerful tension because she will unconsciously begin to seek your validation. The more selective you are with your attention, the more valuable it becomes to her. Humor is another amplifier, but not the way you think. This isn't about being a clown. It's about using smart, bold, and slightly provocative humor. Witty remarks that gently challenge her beliefs create a playful dynamic charged with tension. For instance, if she says she'd never do something adventurous, you can respond with a confident, teasing smile and say, "Sure, I bet you only say that because you haven't met someone who makes you want to." This doesn't just challenge her, it immediately makes the conversation more provocative and far more attractive. You must also manage the energy of the interaction. Know when to ramp up the intensity and when to dial it back. If you stay at the same emotional level, it becomes predictable. But if you vary the pace, you create an irresistible dynamic. After a deep, intense conversation, suddenly ease up, speak a little slower, lower your tone, and allow for an intentional silence. This shift forces her to refocus on you, and in that moment the tension will peak. Finally, Neil teaches the strategic use of selective compliments. Never overload her with praise. Instead, use precise, infrequent compliments that create real emotional impact. After a deep conversation, look her directly in the eyes and say softly, "You know, you have a very unique way of seeing things. I like that. I wasn't expecting it from you." This simple comment sparks her curiosity and desire to discover what else you see in her that others miss. The key is moderation. Using these tools sparingly makes them incredibly powerful because she can never predict your next move. If you master these techniques, your ability to create sexual tension will multiply exponentially. What once seemed complicated will become your natural instinct. But this is just the beginning. Neil Strauss has even more advanced strategies, and now we enter an even deeper dimension: personal storytelling. How you tell your experiences shapes how a woman perceives you. The secret is to share stories that reflect adventure, controlled vulnerability, and deep authenticity. The most effective stories are not the ones where you are the perfect hero, but those where you show a touch of mystery. For instance, instead of detailing an entire trip, you could say, "There was a moment on that trip when I felt something I never thought I would, but maybe that's a story for another time." This keeps the mystery alive and builds a powerful expectation that will keep her mind connected to you. Your voice itself is an instrument of tension. Control your vocal rhythm. When you slow your pace while saying something important, you automatically command more attention. Strategic pauses create suspense. In the middle of an intriguing sentence, pause for a second longer than usual while looking her directly in the eyes. That brief silence makes her hang on every word you're about to say. You must also gently challenge her expectations. Women are used to men constantly seeking their approval. By breaking that pattern, you instantly stand out. If she says something most people agree with, you can calmly respond, "Interesting that you think that. I'm not entirely sure it's true, you might have to convince me." This gentle challenge makes her engage more actively and raises her interest in you significantly. Project confidence without arrogance. This is the master's touch. It's about being completely comfortable with yourself. Handle awkward moments with humor. If you spill a drink, don't apologize nervously. Smile calmly and say, "Well, that's my special way of making sure you remember this conversation." This turns a negative into a moment of positive tension. Create a sense of exclusivity. Women value feeling special. Share details or confidences you rarely reveal. You could say something like, "Honestly, I don't usually tell this to just anyone, but with you, it feels different." This phrase, used with total sincerity, makes her feel uniquely connected to you. Talk about your goals with genuine passion, but not to impress her. Let her naturally sense your determination. By showing her your life is intense and full of ambitious goals, she will instinctively feel a powerful desire to be part of your world. If you have made it this far, you probably already feel it. Something has shifted not just in how you understand sexual tension, but in how you see yourself in this silent, powerful game. Because when you apply these ideas, you're not learning cheap tricks. You are developing presence, mystery, and real magnetism. You are moving from being just another guy to becoming a man who masters his energy, his language, and his ability to generate desire with just a look or a word. Neil Strauss didn't teach manipulation. He taught how to awaken what is already inside you. What you're learning isn't just about attracting a woman. It's about making her stay, making her think about you, making her seek you out, without her even understanding why. This doesn't end here. This is just the start of a much broader path. If this content helped you, if something inside you clicked, don't keep it to yourself. Comment below what part impacted you the most. Share this video with anyone you think needs to awaken that inner power. Hit like if this connected with you and subscribe, because what's coming next is even deeper, more real, and more transformative. See you in the next video. But until then, keep your energy burning, your mind sharp, and your presence strong. Because what you project, the world feels, and now you know how to do it.